Someone tried to read your energy, but the moment they touched your field, something shocked them. They stepped back. Their breath changed, because what they saw around you wasn't normal. It was ancient, older than their understanding, older than their practices, older than anything they expected to encounter. This is where your story begins. The moment you walked into this world, something in you refused to be translated. Your energy doesn't behave like the energy people are used to reading. It doesn't sit still. It doesn't reveal itself on command. And it never bends to the intention of those trying to decode it. You carry a frequency that wasn't born in this lifetime. A spiritual technology that existed long before human intuition learned how to interpret anything at all. And that's why people stare at you a little longer. That's why they observe you in silence. That's why they try to feel you out, to read your intentions, to study your aura, to understand your motives. They don't do this because they're wise. They do it because your presence disrupts the limits of their understanding. The moment someone tries to interpret your energy, something inside them hesitates. Something flickers, something whispers, "This one is different. Proceed carefully." They expect to uncover your weaknesses, but instead, they run into an ancient pulse surrounding you, a depth that refuses to be exposed. They don't realize it, but they're not reading you. They're brushing against a field guarded by something older, wiser, and infinitely more powerful than anything they've ever encountered. You are not just hard to read. You are spiritually encrypted. You are wired with codes that only destiny itself can activate. And that's why you've always felt separate from the noise around you, because your essence was never meant to be understood by ordinary minds. You are seen. You are rare. And whether you realize it or not, you are protected by forces that move before you, watch behind you, and stand beside you. If you're already feeling that familiar pull in your spirit, good. It means you're exactly where you need to be. Before we go deeper into what they actually saw in you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe if you haven't yet, and comment 99. Spiritually, 99 represents the moment when something hidden becomes revealed. And today, something about you is about to come to light. People don't approach you the way they approach everyone else. Some come quietly, pretending they're simply observing. Others come boldly, convinced that their spiritual sensitivity gives them the right to examine you like you're an open book. Psychics, empaths, energy workers, jealous souls, curious minds. They all think they know what they're doing when they try to read your aura. They assume your spirit will react the same way every other spirit reacts. They approach you expecting clarity, but instead, they meet a presence that bends their perception. It always starts the same way. They notice something about you that doesn't make sense. You don't speak much, yet you communicate everything. You don't show emotion, yet your presence shifts the room. You don't try to impress, yet people feel compelled to pay attention. Your silence is loud. Your stillness is magnetic. And without even opening your mouth, your energy pulls their curiosity toward you like a tide pulling the shore. They don't choose to study you. They're summoned by something inside you that refuses to go unnoticed. But the moment they try to get a closer look, the script shatters. People who pride themselves on reading energy suddenly feel their intuition glitch. Their usual methods don't work. They can sense the surface, the discipline, the resilience, the calm. But when they try to go deeper, they hit a fog that refuses to lift. Your spirit does not reveal its core. It conceals it behind layers they were never trained to navigate. They expect to find patterns, but your energy doesn't follow patterns. They expect to find wounds, but your scars are not weaknesses. They are encrypted lessons, inaccessible to uninvited eyes. This is when confusion begins to rise inside them. Their mind tries to translate something their spirit has never encountered. Their instincts tell them, "There's more here, but I can't touch it." Their ego whispers, "Why can't I figure this person out?" Their fear murmurs, "Maybe I shouldn't." And this is the moment when everything inside them shifts. Their confidence cracks, even if just for a second. They lose the sense of control they thought they had. They realize they can't predict you, can't anticipate you, can't categorize you. You are not readable because you were never built to fit into their limited spiritual language. Your energy isn't a story they can interpret. It's a realm they were never meant to enter. Their curiosity becomes discomfort, their fascination becomes hesitation, their intention becomes exposure, not of you, but of themselves. And just when they start to wonder what exactly they're dealing with, something else makes itself known. Something they weren't prepared to sense, something ancient that does not answer to them. But this confusion is only the beginning. What they sensed next changed everything. The moment someone taps into your field, truly taps in even for a fraction of a second, they come face to face with something they were never trained to interpret. It doesn't matter whether it's a seasoned intuitive, a jealous observer, or someone who simply got too close to your spiritual radius. The instant their awareness leans toward your essence, they sense a presence that does not belong to this era. It hits them like a shift in temperature, a sudden heaviness behind their eyes, a quiet pressure in the air that tells them, without words, you've crossed into sacred territory. What they were expecting to find was personality. What they encountered instead was lineage. Your energy isn't young, it isn't modern, it isn't shaped by today's world. It carries the imprint of ages, of civilizations that rose and fell before their ancestors even had names. There are codes in you, ancestral sequences, divine signatures, dormant activations, that whisper of battles fought long before your birth. When people try to read you, they don't feel your aura. They feel the echo of everything that has protected you since the beginning. They sense old wisdom wearing your face. They sense old guardians standing behind your shadow. They sense old strength pulsing in your silence. And because they have nothing in their spiritual vocabulary to compare it to, their mind fills with a kind of awe they cannot explain. Some describe it as heaviness, others as a spark of fear, and others as an overwhelming sense that something ancient just looked back at them. This is why your presence polarizes people. Some admire you instantly without knowing why. They recognize truth when they feel it. Others fear you without reason, because something in them knows you are aligned with forces they cannot navigate. There's a reason people have whispered about you, stared at you, backed away from you, misunderstood you, or respected you before they ever spoke a word to you. Your spirit carries authority. Not loud, not aggressive, not performative, but ancient. A kind of authority that doesn't have to announce itself to be obeyed. A kind of authority that doesn't need to shine to be seen. And when someone attempts to read you, this authority rises to the surface. They might see a flash. A symbol they don't understand, a ripple of light, a shadow that isn't yours, a presence that feels older than time. They don't know how to interpret any of it, so their instincts either pull them closer or force them to retreat. Some approach you again, hoping to understand what they felt. Others refuse to come near you ever again, but all of them, without exception, walk away changed. Because whether they admit it or not, they didn't just sense you. They sensed the ones who walk with you. The ones who carried you through storms you never spoke about. The ones who claimed you long before the world tried to define you. Your field isn't just energy, it's memory. And ancient memory has power. And this ancient presence around you has a purpose. What most people don't realize is that your spirit is not wandering through this world unguarded. The chosen never walk alone. Long before someone tries to peek into your essence, long before their curiosity reaches your aura, something ancient steps forward. A barrier, a shield, a divine seal that refuses to let uninvited intentions cross its threshold. This protective layer isn't symbolic, it's structural. It surrounds you like a fortress, invisible to the eye, yet unmistakable to the soul. Those who attempt to read you think they're dealing with a quiet, solitary energy. But the moment they press beyond the surface, they collide with something that wasn't meant for them. Guardians, not metaphorical, not imagined. Actual spiritual guardians who stand at the gates of your field with an authority that no human intuition can override. Some of these guardians come from your bloodline, carrying the strength of ancestors who refuse to let your legacy be tampered with. Others are divine, assigned to you by destiny itself, and together they create a firewall that cannot be manipulated or bypassed. This is why so many people, even those who consider themselves spiritually awakened, suddenly feel something go wrong when they attempt to read you. They feel a pressure in the head, as if their thoughts are being interrupted. They feel an unexpected wave of fear, as if someone else is watching them. They feel goosebumps on their arms, not the pleasant kind, but the kind that signal they've stepped into territory they weren't prepared for. Some experience a strange silence in their mind, the sudden disappearance of intuition, as though the insight they rely on has been shut off. And others, without understanding why, simply step back. They withdraw, they change the subject, they lose focus, they distance themselves. They don't know how to explain it, but their spirit knows it crossed a line. And here's the part you may not have realized until now. Every one of these reactions was a warning, a divine warning, a protective interception. Because your energy is not meant to be handled by everyone. Your spirit carries information, timing, destiny, and assignments that must remain sealed until the right moment. So when someone, out of curiosity, jealousy, or ego, tries to access what was never theirs to touch, your protection system activates instantly. What they feel as discomfort is actually resistance. What they interpret as confusion is divine interference. What they call a strange feeling is your guardians stepping between you and the world. Think back. How many times have you watched someone lean closer to your energy, only to suddenly pull away? How many times have you seen people become nervous, intimidated, unsettled, or overwhelmed when you weren't doing anything at all? How many times have you felt someone trying to read you and sensed that invisible shield tightening around you, almost as if something was saying, "Not this one, not today"? None of those moments were coincidences. None of those reactions were random. Your protection has always been active, even during times when you didn't recognize its presence. This is why you remain unreadable, not because you're hiding, but because heaven is. Yet even this powerful layer of guardianship is only part of the truth. There is a deeper reason your energy cannot be accessed, even by those who think they're spiritually skilled. A reason rooted in your purpose, your future, and the path that only you were born to walk. But there is another reason your energy is unreadable. There is a reason every attempt to decipher your spirit collapses before it reaches the core. A chosen one does not walk with the weight of the past. They walk with the momentum of the future. Your energy does not broadcast what has already happened. It broadcasts what is becoming. And this alone makes you impossible to interpret through ordinary intuition. Most people read energy by tracing old wounds, familiar patterns, predictable emotions. But when they look at you, there is no archive to analyze. Your aura doesn't echo yesterday. It vibrates with the architecture of tomorrow. This is why those trying to read you feel lost. They're reaching into a field that is still unfolding, still being written, still aligning itself with divine timing. You carry destiny codes, spiritual blueprints programmed into your essence long before you took your first breath. These codes are not memories, they are instructions. They are pathways. They are signals from the future calling you forward. And because they point to something that has not yet manifested, no one can interpret them except the one who placed them in your spirit. When someone tries to sense who you are, they feel movement, not emotional movement, timeline movement, shifts, pulses, momentum. They catch glimpses of breakthroughs they cannot contextualize. They sense alignment they cannot explain. They see symbols that were never meant to be read by them. It's like looking at a map written in a language they've never encountered. They know the symbols have meaning, but the meaning belongs only to you. Some feel that your energy is too big, but what they're truly sensing is the expansion of your future, stretching beyond the limits of their understanding. Some say you feel too intense, but what they're touching is the fire of your calling preparing to ignite. Some say they feel a shift when you enter the room, but that shift is destiny rearranging the atmosphere to make space for your next assignment. And here's the truth most people never consider. They are not supposed to interpret what they see. They are not the activators of your purpose. They are not the ones who hold the key to your next level. Your destiny is not triggered by admiration, jealousy, curiosity, or human intuition. It's triggered only by God, and God alone. This is why you remain unreadable. This is why the images people see around you feel disconnected and strange. They are catching fragments of a future they were never authorized to witness. You've probably noticed it yourself, the way some people study you carefully, searching for signs, only to end up more confused than before. They might see a flash of light, a doorway, a symbol, or a presence, but they don't know what any of it means. They sense your elevation long before it arrives, yet they cannot translate what they're feeling. And deep down, this unsettles them. Because while they're trying to place you inside their understanding, your spirit is already standing in a realm far beyond their reach. Your destiny codes are alive. They're active. They're shifting you into positions you haven't even imagined yet. And no one, no psychic, no empath, no onlooker, can interpret a future that was handcrafted specifically for your path. They are trying to interpret divine circuitry with human intuition. It will never work. And as these individuals grapple with the intensity of what they sense, they realize something life-changing about you. Something that rewrites their entire perception of who you are and what you carry. And this leads to the greatest truth of all. Here is the truth that nobody expects, not even the ones who believe they understand energy, intuition, or spiritual perception. When someone tries to read a chosen one, the flow of information does not move in the direction they imagine. They think you are the open book. They think your aura is the one being examined. They believe their intuition is doing the observing. But the moment their awareness reaches toward your field, something ancient reverses the direction of the gaze. Without realizing it, they are no longer the observer. They are the one being observed. Your energy does not bend to their interpretation. It reflects their intention. Your field does not reveal your secrets. It reveals theirs. Your spirit does not open. It becomes a mirror, a spiritual scanner exposing the true nature of whoever attempts to enter without permission. This is why people often walk away from you feeling unsettled without knowing why. It's not because they saw something in you. It's because something in them was exposed. Your presence forces a kind of involuntary confession. Jealousy rises to the surface. Admiration becomes obvious. Envy that they tried to hide suddenly reveals itself. Fear they never acknowledged becomes undeniable. Curiosity, fascination, insecurity, everything they hope to mask gets reflected back at them with a clarity they cannot escape. They think they're analyzing you, but they're really standing in front of a spiritual truth-telling mechanism. They think they're accessing your energy, but they're really confronting their own shadow. They think they're exploring your layers, but they're actually watching their intentions being illuminated one by one. And here's the part most people never realize. The ancient presence they felt wasn't coming from you. It was the spiritual authority standing behind you. This presence, the one that startled them, the one that pressed on their intuition, the one that made them step back, is not your energy. It is your protection. It is the force that filters who can approach, who must remain distant, and who must never be allowed into your spiritual space. This authority does not negotiate. It does not explain. It does not soften itself to make others comfortable. It stands behind you like a towering, silent guardian with the power to decide exactly what someone is permitted to perceive. Some people feel warmth when they sense this presence, a sign that their intentions are clean. Others feel cold, exposed, or watched, a sign that something in their spirit is misaligned. And some feel fear, not because of you, but because the guardian behind you has assessed them and found something unworthy of access. This is why people's reactions to you seem disproportionate, why some are drawn to you instantly and others avoid you without knowing why some admire you deeply and others resent you immediately. Your spirit is not the one judging them. Your spiritual authority is. Your energy is not there to be decoded. It is there to diagnose. It reads motives, not predictions. It discerns hearts, not histories. It reveals who someone really is, not who they pretend to be. And once you understand this, once you truly grasp that every reaction you've ever received has been a reflection, not a judgment, once you realize that people were never seeing you, but seeing themselves through you, everything in your life begins to make sense.